Okay, Frog, and Amish will agree with me here, especially with all the injuries. You can never have too many pitchers. Yeah, you can only have so much food in your mouth too, and then you gotta eventually spit some out. But okay, that was a bad example. Yep, and that always happens. Oh God, please tell me you're kidding, because that does remove a lot of the strategy of it. There, there, there are leagues that do play quote unquote best lineup, but then again, that takes the strategy out of it too. Yeah, but I don't know.
And welcome into the ballpark. Happy to have you with us. Saturday baseball on the show. It's the Baltimore Orioles taking on the Cleveland Guardians. Alongside Chris Singleton, I'm John Shambi. And singing the big bat in the lineup so far this year, Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, Boog, he's one of the pillars of this
Hey,
lineup. And when you have a guy like that that's so consistent and so productive, you want to make sure you can do whatever you can to get him to the plate. Get him as many at-bats as you can in a ball game. If you do that, you got a
like
really good chance of scoring a lot of runs.
yeah, but that's part of the fun of it. I
So
used
just
to,
about
I
set.
used,
And on the mound now, Tristan McKenzie. What do we need to know here
you
about
don't
the
have to.
right-hander?
Well, you can see his whip is a little above the league average. Not
You only
bad.
have to
I think
you only
in this one, he's
micromanage
going to
to the
need
point where
to control that a little bit better. Try to
want
limit
to.
hitters from getting on
Because
base.
you can't, there is
Stay
such
in
a
that
thing as
windup
over
instead of the
micromanaging. And
stretch. And when he
Mark, I'm
does
sorry
allow
to hear that
base
you
runners,
lost Vlad for
be
the
able to
season.
throw a pitch. He's going to get a
I'll make
swing and
sure
miss,
not to
get
pass
out
that
of the
luck on
inning
to
so
Frog,
that a
because
base
Frog has
hit
him in his
doesn't do more
fantasy
damage and put his
season.
team behind the eight
If
ball.
he were to lose Vlad today to a
Gunnar
season-ending injury, he'd be
Henderson in
like,
the box
"Damn,
here.
I
He
should
lets
have
that one go
traded him
for
to Sean
ball.
because he 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 wouldn't have whined like Brian." Oh, whoops, I won't stream.
5 o'clock.
Kicks and deals. Down and in, moved his feet.
When you get ahead in the
That's
count,
okay.
there's no doubt that the success rate goes up, and that's what he's been doing. It's made a big impact for him in recent games.
Close one, doesn't get the call. 3 balls, no strikes. Let's see if he gives him
So,
anything to hit here.
So Mark, the
That's
guy
it
that's
for a
always in my
strike.
streams,
Here's a guy at the plate.
he's
I'm
a Blue
expecting
Jays
to have
fan.
a good game.
He's
Always
playing
seems
a
to
Blue
play
Jays
better in
franchise in MLB The
relieves.
Show. He lost Vladimir
Line
Guerrero
drive
to
down the
a season-ending
line.
injury. I said
Foul ball.
that would break Frog's heart, especially after Frog just declined trading him to me in fantasy.
The pitch. In the air, center field.
Hey,
Strong
there you
getting
go.
an angle on it. Puts it away
We
from
need to
the
make a rule like MLB The Show. You can't trade injured players.
All right, let's take a look at the Orioles lineup now. And in an era with a lot of strikeouts, they are right on trend, Chris. A lot of swing and miss in this lineup, and they come in with more strikeouts than any other team in the league right now.
Well, clearly they're looking to connect and hit the ball a long way, but at some point you've got to
But
shorten
wait a
up,
minute,
and you'd like to see
Mark,
hitters
how many
do it, especially
franchises are
when
you
they're
doing?
having
You
a
got a
hard time
Royals
scoring runs.
franchise, you got the
With
Blue
2
Jays
strikes, maybe
franchise.
spread out a little bit, choke up
I
the
don't know
bat,
how
and
you
just try to
all
put the ball
play
in play.
multiple
There's a good
franchises.
chance
I
that you'll
couldn't do it.
find a hole and maybe get something going that way.
Ryan O'Hearn
Well,
comes
he
up
said
to
he's doing the
hit.
Royals
3
on the
for 8 in the
switch.
series coming in.
O'Hearn.
Fastball for a strike. And it's
Okay,
a
so you're
ball.
doing Royals on the
2 out
switch.
spaces
You're
empty.
doing Blue Jays on the PlayStation.
Had a swing and a line drive at a right field.
Are you in
Grab, and that'll end the inning.
Amos collaborating on the Royals?
Middle of the first, no score.
There you go. Frog just said if you start a third one, you got to be the Dodgers to keep the blue theme going.
And Chris, pitching on the road has not been particularly kind to him.
Yeah, you don't want to be too quick to say that he can't.
They're more of a teal.
Sometimes, it's just a matter of luck. It's not having a feel. Difference between the bullpen mound to the mound out there on the playing field. Don't know what it is, but I know.
Let's see if I can figure out how to pitch with Grayson Rodriguez.
As well as at home. So we'll see what he's able to do in this one.
Right-hander kicks, deals. Just missed. Been a real struggle on the mound early on, Singy.
Yeah,
I think you all should collaborate.
Finding that rhythm, and it's starting to look like a game where the bullpen could get a lot of work.
Ground ball up the middle. Into the outfield. Base hit. So a runner aboard to start the inning.
Just kept it simple. Played Kepler with the middle of the infield and took it back where it came from, and there's just no one there to knock it down.
Miles Straw, the next to hit, takes ball one.
One ball, one strike.
Frog, what are you doing after SmackDown?
The pitch.
After SmackDown, go. Oh, that's right. You can't even watch SmackDown, right?
Good approach right there. You want to get something just a little higher that you can elevate. Stay out on that double play.
Well, if you can't watch it, what are you doing around 8 o'clock? And if you can watch it, what are you doing after SmackDown?
That's one of the toughest double plays to turn on the infield. The first baseman has to get inside, create a throwing lane to hit that middle infielder.
Well, the reason I'm asking is, do you want to watch what we discussed?
Really good job all the way around.
Here's Josh Naylor.
Okay. Because I don't work tomorrow, so I figured I'd
Line
ask.
to second, snagged on the bounce. That ends the frame. Scoreless after one.
Hey, a good first inning for Grayson Rodriguez. It's a miracle.
And welcome back to the ballpark. Second inning set to go.
What's next? Is
Now
Santa
it's
Claus
the
going to come to
switch-hitting
town?
outfielder, Anthony Santander. And immediately pumps in a strike to the left-handed hitter. They tried to get him to chase on a slider down and away. Rusty Valentine doing the umpiring behind the dish for us.
So,
maybe the best name in the league.
Yeah, that's a solid one. No
I
doubt.
picked him up because I thought there were rumors that he was going to be the call-up to replace. And once he wasn't, I just don't have the. I want to try to stay competitive. I don't have.
Drilled to right, way back there, and that
Yeah.
is gone.
Not month or 2 months. You know, if he gets called up and I missed a chance to pick him up, so be it.
Run of the series. It's 1-0. That's his third straight game with a homer, Singy.
This dude is on fire.
So how long do you think it'll take Brian to drop Jack Leiter?
A breaking ball on the inside part of the plate requires a hitter to stay really square.
He started yesterday, and he gave up like 7 runs in 3 2/3.
An outstanding job mechanically. He deserves that home run.
He did at one point. I'll say this: he did at one point. I'm speaking of Jack Leiter, not Brian. He retired 7 straight batters. He just had a really rough patch there in the beginning.
And that one pulled foul.
And the Tigers don't have a bad lineup.
And the pitch.
I even saw there were some people before the season picking the Tigers to win the Central.
Vaughn settles underneath it. Calls it in, and there's one away.
Just pulled off of it a little bit right there. That front shoulder coming open instead of staying closed. If he does
I
that,
still believe
he's
in
gonna be
Kansas
able to
City.
go up the middle the other way with some authority instead of a fly out to left.
One down, base is empty.
Yeah, right. You see, Look at the Guardians' offense in that game, and you'll see why they have no shot. They got nothing outside of Jose Ramirez.
Now the left fielder, Colton Cowser.
It's been a tough stretch for him at the plate. Only 2 hits over the last 5 games.
Although for some strange reason in the game, they have Miles Straw starting in center field.
One scores in the inning coming on this solo home run.
Yeah.
It's an early 1-0 lead. It's Major League Baseball, and it's on the
show.
show.
I'll say this. I give you a hard time about the Twins because I like joking around with you. If Kansas City doesn't win the Central, I think it's going to be Minnesota.
And we're back, bottom of the inning. So in now for
that's true about any team.
Ramirez. Third baseman. Rodriguez back to work. Just missed. Command has been the issue, no doubt. What do you see?
Just too many pitches in the heart of the zone. He's not commanding his pitches and working the edges up and down, in and out, and he's getting hit hard.
Gets down, base hit. Just kind of sliced that one into center.
Hitting is really easy for some guys. One thing that I can see already, his bat stays in the zone on plane for an extended period of time. And guys like that, they have a high contact.
By the way, did you guys?
And they have more barrels.
Did one of you guys watch that CC Sabathia interview about all the pitching injuries?
Hit hard enough to dunk something in like that in front of the center fielder.
Where he talks about the.
That one way outside.
I don't know where he did the initial interview, but Ryan Ripken played it on his show, and they talked about it. And that's how they. And then they start.
I see some movement over there at first base, trying to stay out of the double play right here.
Cuts and misses.
Not on his X. Just look up Ryan Ripken's show on YouTube.
Baseball the other way, so credit the pitcher for having him out in front of that pitch. Clearly, he had him fooled.
Bo Naylor at the plate now.
Yeah, there's probably a link to that on his X. Now that I think about it.
Home team down a run here in Game 3 of this 4-game series.
1 ball, 1 strike.
That one in the dirt, 1-1.
Because I didn't know. CC actually said in that interview the very last pitch of his career, he tore up his arm and his shoulder.
Get yourself into scoring position.
Got him swinging.
But he said pitching is such an unnatural motion. It's, every arm is a ticking time bomb. It's just, you gotta learn how to pitch, not throw, so you have more bullets in the gun, so to speak.
First pitch misses. And that's in there at the knees.
Good zip on that fastball at the bottom of the zone. If he's there all day, it's going to be a tough one for the hitters.
The pitch. There goes the runner. Laced down the line. This looks like extra bases. They're waving Ramirez home. He scores and the Guardians tie it up. It's 1-1.
Well, I think one of the reason they always say pitching is an unnatural motion is throwing a ball. The natural motion is underhanded, not overhanded. There's more wear and tear on the shoulder because the natural motion is underhanded.
The pitch. And it is 2-1.
Well, the only one of us that was there was you, so we got to take your word for it. I'm kidding with you, obviously. We all know Amish and all of us.
The pitch. And a swing and a miss. That ends the inning, and they limit the damage. A run on 2 hits, and they leave 1. We played 2 full, all tied 1-1.
But what's tearing up shoulders, or what's causing me, it's not necessarily fastballs. It's breaking balls. Quarterbacks aren't throwing a football like a curveball.
Here in Cleveland, top half of the 3rd inning, and into the box for Baltimore, Jordan Westburg. As he turns on the rubber, and with that good live arm delivers. That misses the zone. 1-0.
No.
Westburg measures 6 feet 2 inches in the 8th spot in today's lineup, and he's been on a good run at the plate, hitting over 300 in his last 10 games.
Exactly. Like, yes, you do have the occasional sidearm quarterback, but even those even quarterbacks that throw, like Lamar Jackson will throw a football sidearm, but he might do that maybe 5 times a game. Not, you have sidearm relievers at every pitch they throw, and they're also not throwing a football 100 miles an hour.
Check swing, no appeal.
Yeah. I think I told Frog this, and he completely disagreed. But James Andrews has gone on the record. He said it for years. Breaking pitches should be outlawed until you reach the age of 18, until you reach your senior year of high school. But then again, how do you, even if you somehow got a rule passed going all the way down to Little League where you can't throw breaking balls, you'd be trusting the umpires and all these Little League games and these middle school games to enforce that rule.
The right-hander back to work. And there's a strike. Good heater at 90.
One of Ryan Ripken's co-hosts, actually, in that same CC Sabathia clip that I was talking about, when they were just talking about it, he said he coached Little League Baseball, and he said he had a 13-year-old that he couldn't use for half the season because back in the year prior, a 13-year-old had Tommy John surgery.
But you also have to be aggressive and ready to hit in your zone. Now you're in a tough spot.
This ball's chopped to the ground. Henderson on the run, sends it over to first. He's in there. Singy, that was a close play, and it looks like they're considering challenging the safe ball.
Really close.
My dad truly believes that, today's baseball player is almost too muscular.
So the lineup flips over. Here's the Cleveland leadoff hitter, Stephen Kwan. First pitch doesn't find the
I know I put that in our group chat, and Amos said he thinks it's just, he doesn't necessarily agree with that he thinks just players are bigger, faster, stronger, but they're bigger, faster, stronger because they're working out constantly. They're not resting their body.
One gone, bottom of the third inning.
That's a good piece of hitting right there. The job is to move the runner off and give your team a chance to score the go-ahead run.
The other thing is, and this isn't just a baseball thing, this is any sport. You get these people, you get these kids that, want to play basketball, or want to play baseball, or want to play football, and that's all they play. They're playing, they're in travel leagues in the wintertime, and, so they're, like Ryan Ripken said, when he was in college, or when he was in high school, he played basketball. So you're working out other muscle groups. Because if you're doing the same thing constantly and only working out certain muscle groups, you're not going to grow you're not going to grow from a physical standpoint the right way.
Score remains tied 1-1.
One of the things that kept Cal so lean and able to do what he did was he was constantly, when he was especially in the off season, he had a basketball court at his house. Tim Kirchin will tell you stories to this day about going and playing pickup games at Cal's house and how competitive he was playing basketball. Now, I can't see Tim Kirchin, short guys that he is, playing basketball. Oh, I know. I love Tim Kirchin. He's hilarious. He started doing a podcast with his son, talking baseball. Yeah, he was talking about that on ironically, he was talking about that on the Ryan Ripken show, about how the day after he did his episode on the Ryan Ripken show, he said he was starting a podcast with his son. And it's one of the coolest things he's ever done in his career. He said him and his son are just doing a podcast, just talking baseball.
Left field. Quan heads after it. He's got it. And there's one down.
Imagine when you're one of the more popular baseball reporters of the last 20, 30 years, and now you're just doing a podcast, just talking about your passion with your son.
Zips it to first, and there's two away. Anthony Santander at the plate. He's already homered in this game. Just missed. Nowadays, with advanced metrics and increased use of moving the infielders around, defense isn't necessarily about making errors. Are you able to get
it would be about frogs.
Are you able to toss us to first? That's out number 3.
And all the ways you can cook them to make them into a good meal.
Now the 4-hole hitter for the Guardians, Jose Ramirez. The line to kick the pitch. There's a strike. Ball one there.
Good spot there, but didn't get the strike at the knees and doesn't seem too convinced by the call out there on the mound as he tries to get a better sense of the umpire strike zone.
And that's in the dirt.
Well, they have had a hard time scoring in this one. The pitcher out there on the mound wants to keep attacking, make sure that they don't get any confidence.
Up the middle, whips it to Mountcastle, and Ramirez is set down.
It takes time.
The designated hitter. Next for the Guardians is the designated
Rome
hitter.
wasn't built in a day, and I didn't get 952 subscribers in a day.
Close, but called a ball. And that's ball 1.
Yeah.
All tied up. We're here in the
Matter of fact, I've been stuck on 952 for a couple days. I'm like, I was like, well, damn, I was feeling pretty good, feeling pretty confident. Now,
out to short, Henderson. In plenty of time to first.
I told you I was joking about that.
Stepping up for the Guardians, Bo Naylor. 0 for 1. He struck out swinging last time.
No, even if I was serious, I wouldn't be allowed.
0-1. He's pitching well, but not throwing a ton of.
I was told that if I spent all that time away from you-know-who only to do that, I'd be sleeping on the couch.
Here's a 1-1.
2-1.
2 down, nobody on. Here in game 3 of this 4-game series.
Thank you.
Swings through it, and that's a strikeout. Nothing doing for the Guardians there. Score remains deadlocked at 1. Back now at Progressive Field. Top 5, John Shelby with Chris Singleton. And leading it off, Ryan Mountcastle. Wouldn't chase that time. Swing and a pop-up. Foul territory for the catcher. One up, one down. And now the center fielder, Cedric Mullins. Makes the sliding stop. Fires to first. And
How many times have I said to you in the last few weeks, a job is better than no job?
So next to hit for Baltimore, Colton Cowser. Fly to left his first time.
Really? Well, I knew people during COVID that got laid off from Comcast, that I used to work with at Comcast, that told me they were making more money in unemployment than they were sitting on the phones talking to angry Comcast customers. But that, doesn't put in even after the bonus stopped. My one buddy told me, because he just recently got laid off from Comcast, and he just started collecting unemployment. He said he's literally making $50 less a month. He said $50 less a month is worth it to him to not have to get yelled at by Comcast. Like, and I'm just sitting there thinking, if I was in his situation, I could think of something easy to do to make up $50 over in the course of a month.
Looks like he's being a little cautious with him in this at bat after doubling the first time up. Doesn't want to make another mistake.
Center field drifts towards it. And out number 1 on the grab. Now it's the right fielder. Went down on strikes his first time through. Right through there for a strike.
This game has been so tight. Feels like the next team to score will win it.
Not close with that one. And the count is 1-1.
Where the hell are you spending only $5 a day for lunch? I want to go wherever you.
Now he'll turn for second.
I've never eaten at Sheets. I've heard good things.
Everything came together for him. 110 miles per hour, and man, that exit velocity. Not every hitter's capable of getting that kind of jump off the bat, no matter how hard they swing. A chance now to take the lead, and at this point in the game, that could be a deciding run.
Out to short, Henderson. 2 away.
Yeah, that was a wasted RBI opportunity, but competitor like him, he is looking.
Hey, Frog, I'm actually pitching halfway decent with Gunnar, or with Grayson Rodriguez.
Digs in for the Guardians. In the dirt.
I don't know what it is. I think it's his windup or lack or whatever, if you want to call this a windup. It's weird to me.
As a pitcher, you know the runner on second is ready to push things with his speed.
We're all weird. That's why we get along so well.
So you really have to execute on the mound.
By the way, Amish, you know the best part about the trade I offered Frog? I forgot to tell him. Best part was, he didn't message me and ask me if I wanted to talk about it. He just looked at it.
That's in there. That's strike 1.
And he just either accepted it, declined it, or counter-offered me. There was no conversation that needed to be had. And
outside, 2-1.
Good spot for the hitter. Definitely has the advantage in this count with runners on. Look for him to be aggressive on this next pitch.
No swing. Just held it back there.
yeah.
2 outs. And he walked it.
You didn't send me, did you mean to send me this? You mean, did I mean to look at the teams and...
Josh Naylor digs in for the Guardians. And the first pitch misses for ball 1.
Definitely a frustrating day for the offense, but when they look at it, this guy's had his best stuff. Painting the corners, working on the edges and changing speeds. Just a difficult one. You tip your cap.
Rips that one center field.
Oh, holy hell. Cedric Mullins with a great play. Yeah, there's a thing called counteroffer.
Pitchers flat out love it when their teammates sacrifice their bodies to make a play.
You know but you know the funny thing about the whole thing is, and I mean I'm over it, but I kind of laugh at the one thing that makes me laugh at the whole thing is, if Shane Bieber hadn't gotten hurt, he'd be tickled pink right now. Because Shane Bieber was pitching good, he's on his favorite team.
First pitch misses. Holiday, in his rookie season, only 20 years old. A former first-round pick in 2022.
That I'm not going to say on screen.
Pretty good pitch there to take a rip at. He wants to get his arms extended. He likes the ball away from him a little bit, just not able to square it up.
The 1-1. Look out! And it hit him.
Well, in the box, he's seen that movie before. It wasn't a good movie either. He knew how it was going to end right from the beginning.
On the ground,
Frog.
Respectfully,
shut up.
Bottom of the the 6th inning. Here's Jose Ramirez.
Because Frog, be nice. I try so hard to like you.
Ball 1, no strikes.
I was waiting for Gabe to say, "Oh, Orioles won't miss a beat without Felix Bautista."
That's one out as they get the leadoff hitter in the 6th. And now the DH. David
I'll say this: so far, Craig Kimbrell has done very well. But if you ask me right now who I'd rather have, Craig Kimbrell or Felix Bautista, healthy, give me Felix Bautista, please.
That's what's been key.
I mean,
it's a ball and a strike.
yeah, the last picture we sent you, we got Cano and one of our better minor league pitchers. I mean, that was, and then we got Lopez back in less than a year. Because you guys are really.
Wide of the pitch. Check swing. Now to look down to
I have to ask, and mind you, I'm not being serious because we all know how baseball actually is. But like you said, you could use bullpen help. Does it make you cringe every time you see how well Gunnar Cano is doing for us? Does it make you cringe every time you see how well Gunnar Cano is pitching for the Orioles? To think he should have been a Twin. That's true.
Flips the corner. Going 1.
And I'm sure you've heard all about the infamous Orioles Glenn Davis trade. What did we give up? Pete Harnish, Kurt Schilling, and Steve Finley.
Vocal the umpire is today, no doubt.
For Glenn Davis.
Catcher's mind, and even the pitcher's mind as to the conviction in the call.
Cuts on it and misses. That's a strikeout.
That still stings.
Strikeout number 100 on the year.
I'm being one hit, by the way.
Back here in Cleveland.
But the one hit was a homer.
And now the switch hitting catcher.
Generally, you need at least 2. Unless the other team had the. Although, okay, I always end up saying this backwards. Did Pittsburgh win or lose a one-hitter? Or a no-hitter?
Good fastball, excellent slider.
Okay.
Not been able to commit to one velocity and stay there.
You can. It's rare. It shouldn't happen. No. No, it should never, ever happen.
And he grounds one to the right side. Jimenez.
Put it this way.
Gathers.
If I threw a no-hitter and lost, I'd want. If I was the pitcher, I'd want to fight my entire offense.
The next to hit for the Orioles. Swing and a ball lifted left field. Quan settles underneath it. Calls it in, 2 away.
Now batting, the right fielder.
So now it's the 4-hole hitter, Anthony Santander. He's already homered here in this one. Swing and a drive. This one is crushed.
Okay.
And here in the late stages,
Okay, Frog, I now have 2 hits, 2 home runs from Anthony Santander.
Second home run of the game. Just like that, they move in front. It's 2-1.
A combined no-hitter against. I gotta read this full comment. I'm not sure what happened. I remember throwing a combined no-hitter against Baltimore. One of those. Are you talking about in the game, or it just happened in real life?
Really good job by the hitter. Total conviction on that swing.
Oh, okay. I've thrown one perfect. I've thrown 2 perfect games in my history in MLB The Show. One in franchise mode, which was so long ago. It went back to when Eric Bedard was still an Oriole before the Adam Jones trade. And I actually threw one in a ranked season game in Diamond Dynasty. Now, to be fair, the player that I was, the actual person I was playing in the Diamond Dynasty game, I'm convinced must have been 5 years old because he was pretty much swinging at everything. And Frog knows what happens when you swing with everything with me. I didn't give the kid I didn't give the person I was playing anything to hit. Cedric Mullins.
That was blasted to the moon. It's their second home run of the inning. It's 4-1.
In all honesty, Frog. Oh, good.
They're having a lot of fun at the plate in this one. They've got the long ball working for them on autopilot.
Today, apparently.
That one was a hanger, and pitchers typically don't get away with making a mistake like that. And right there, he made him pay.
Yeah.
Here comes the skipper, and we're going to see a pitching change in this spot. Tristan McKenzie will depart, and we'll be back with their first arm out of the pen after a quick break.
Great.
The Guardians going with a new pitcher, James Karinchak.
And one thing on him, he's been really good this season at keeping the ball in the park. Now
Now, ironically, have more runs than I have hits.
So 2 down. Here's the left fielder, Colton Cowser. Out to center. Straw has
Actually, Frog, you should be very happy with the Oriole you have on your team. Cedric Mullins should be playing very well for you.
Round trippers in this inning. The long ball was working. It's now a 4-1 ball game. You're watching Major League Baseball on the show. Bottom of the 7th. Now it's the shortstop, Ryan Rocchio. Andrew Chafin enters the game.
Well, he's had trouble at times keeping the ball in the park this season. Something to keep in mind here.
And a pitch. That one misses. Ball.
Honestly, I'm surprised you still have Hayes on the roster, considering he's pretty much lost all of his playing time to Colton Cowser.
And another ball. Line drive, caught.
That swing right there tells me he's seeing the ball pretty well. I know it didn't produce a hit, but he made.
I'll say this: I would not. So he was an All-Star last year, so he's not a bad player. He's having a rough stretch.
Throws the first. 2 up, 2 down. Here's
Yeah, so I'm not sitting here saying I'm saying I wouldn't blame you if you did drop him, but I'm not sitting here saying I would drop him, if that makes sense.
Definitely he has it, but pushing the offense.
If there's somebody
for just a second, Chris, it's the defensive side that I think the speed factors in the most. On the ground to third. Jump throw. Not in time, and he reaches safely.
Yeah.
Staying within his game right there.
Because
Speedster gets the infield single, and
I don't see him knocking Cowser out of the lineup anytime soon. So he's going to be that. He's basically become what Cowser was originally intended to be. That fourth outfielder that's going to fill in for Mullins and fill in for Santander. And hell, I traded him in my franchise. And he was doing good for me.
And they trail it 4-1. And we're back, ready to begin the 8th.
The whole first month of the season, he hit 500 for me. I couldn't understand it. I was like, why can't we have this Austin Hayes and not even this Austin Hayes? I'd take it 2/3 of that. Like,
and the righty deals. cut on and missed 96 of that fastball. Moving in the bullpen.
Yeah, because you either gotta drop Edmonds, or you gotta drop somebody who would take him off the IL.
Pitches in the dirt. 1-2 to count.
Put it this way, unless
well, he's so great about hitting the ball the other way. He gets
unless Calzer
so right there,
cools off big time, or Santander or Mullins gets hurt, Hayes may not get enough playing time to come out of that slump. Because you can't come out of a slump if you only play one or two games a week.
Outside, and that is ball 4. That's a great at bat. He saw a lot of pitches and earned a walk.
The batter, number 7.
Man at first. Here's the second baseman, Jackson Holliday. And a good eye there. Next pitch way upstairs.
If you're the pitcher, you've got to go right at this guy. It's the number 9 hitter in the lineup. You can't be afraid of contact in this situation.
No. And the numbers aren't the eye test either.
First with no outs here.
There is something to be said for looking at a player and how his mannerisms and the numbers can't tell you by looking at, like, I'm picking on Jackson Holliday. I'm not saying Jackson Holliday's feeling this way, but because he has been struggling, the numbers can't tell you, okay, I looked in Jackson Holliday's eyes and he looks defeated. So he needs a day off to reboot his system, so to speak.
Appearance there, able to take the walk. Gunnar Henderson, the next to hit for the Orioles.
Gunnar Henderson.
Line drive. That's a fair ball down the right field line. And he boots it. 1 run is in. Now 2 runs score. And the lead is up to 5.
That was a thing of beauty. Pretty good pitch on the inside corner, but I think he was looking for it.
Scott Barlow comes on now.
I think it's going to be a little tough coming in out of the pen when your guys are trailing so big on the scoreboard. Just doesn't have the same.
And he hits a ground ball right side. Fires over to first. There for the out. Runner scores from third.
That right there was pre-pitch preparation by the base runner. Excellent job. He knew that he was going on contact once he saw the ball down. If he hesitates at all, the defense has an option to go home and try to cut him off. But a really nice job of base running.
He swings and fouls one off.
Yeah.
Righty delivers. Gets a piece, and it stays 0-2. That one ripped right center field. That's down. 1 hops off the wall. He's in at second with a 1-out double.
He was all over that. Just a solid swing right there. Caught it out front and ripped it into the outfield for the base hit. Those always feel
it's just RNG.
Anthony Santander.
There, Mark. Well, no, I was answering Mark.
Possibly do it again.
Come on, man. Of course he can. Those 2 he hit were legit, and he looks pretty locked in right now at the ditch.
Yeah.
Steps on first for the out.
By the way, it's now 7-1. I have 7 runs, but only 5 hits. No, I actually had a 2-run triple with
the Orioles, Ryan Mountcastle.
Gunnar Henderson.
Say he's due.
They say you went.
Well, they kept him
I cheat.
This series still doesn't have a knock. I know you want to get that first knock out of the way. Maybe more will come, but you got to give some credit to the pitching staff. They've had a great plan against him.
1 strike.
Pitch in the dirt, and
Let's see. I have 2 walks, so both walks have scored.
That is ball 1. Swing and a bouncer. Tosses across the first. They limit the damage here. So they get 3 runs on 2 hits. No errors and 1 left on base. Last half of the 8th coming up. It's the Orioles 7 and a Guardian. Back now, new pitcher on the mound as we roll into the bottom of the 8th. Yennier Cano.
And you know, bullpen guys can struggle sometimes when they're called upon with big leads because it just doesn't have the same intensity as a tight game. So we'll see how sharp he is. Your mental toughness matters in situations like this as well.
Josh Naylor now at the plate. And there's a ball. Cano, an all-star a season ago. He features a sinker, a changeup, a slider, and he works in a 4-seamer. Right-handed reliever.
3 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, there's ball 4.
It's tough after falling behind a hitter, 2 balls and no strikes, but now at least he gets a fresh start against a new batter. But he needs to get back into the strike zone and start pitching with conviction.
And the 1-0. That clips the corner. Naylor leads off first with 1 away.
Yeah, I've heard good things. Literally, because he was retired before I was born. Actually, no, he was. Actually, I take that back. I was born, but at the very tail end of his career. But I wasn't like watching. You know what I mean? I may have been watching, but I didn't understand what I was watching.
David Fry. 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a ground out. And that's downstairs and outside.
1 ball, no strike.
Runner at second, 2 down. Here the bottom half of the 8th inning. That's down and in.
2 balls, no strike.
The pitch. Good eye in that spot. And that's ball 4. So 2 on with 2 away. So in now for Cleveland, Bo Naylor. And immediately pumps
after this game, I am going to stop streaming for a bit and go pick up food for everybody. Whatever you want. It'll probably be cold before it gets to you, but
wouldn't chase that time. And a 2-2. Gets a piece and stays alive. Good battle here. About to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Stays alive.
Good Lord, would you stop fouling balls off?
Spoils a 2-strike
He's
pitch.
pushing
We'll
him.
see another. Keeps the at-bat going with a foul ball.
I'm mixing up my pitches.
Kicks and deals. And another ball.
Cancel.
On the ground to third.
Hey,
Whips it to first.
I finally got him.
That is the inning. This one pretty well decided at this point. 9th inning coming up. It's the Orioles 7 and the Guardians 1.
That was a ground ball pitcher.
New inning getting started.
Well, maybe, I
And
guess. I
now
don't
here
know.
is Cedric Mullins.
So what would you like to eat?
And the right-hander back to work. Barlow, a 6'3" righty, 31 years old, and he was a 6th
What's up,
round
money?
draft pick back in 2011. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2.
He has a tendency to chase out of the zone, and that slider that's down,
Money, money,
that's one of his money
money.
pitches to get that swing and miss.
That's hard hit on the line. Makes the grab on the run. And a quick out, number 1. Colton Cowser, the next to hit. 0 for 3 with 2 flyouts and a ground out.
You know, I'm happy with the decision I made job-wise, but it wasn't easy.
Out towards right center field. Sizes this one up.
Yeah.
He's got it. There's 2 away. And into the box for Baltimore, Jordan Westburg.
Third baseman, Jordan Westburg.
Way outside, and that's ball 1. Two down, nobody on. Here at the top of the 9th. There's a swing and a miss.
Well, 2 outs and a chance to put up a 0 on the scoreboard here, and that's not something that's come easy for this staff in this one.
He goes down looking. Nothing doing for the.
Think I can hold a 6-run lead.
So bottom of the 9th, and now the shortstop Ryan Rokia. So a new arm out of the bullpen for the Orioles, Dylan Tate.
They know that he can get.
I have blown one, but I have blown a 6-run lead this year.
And downstairs. That one to first. He handles it himself.
Yeah.
1 out, bottom of the 9th. And now the right fielder, 1 for 3.
Oh, Renee gave me another good piece of pitching advice. He said,
And that's outside.
he watches me get frustrated. He said the thing that I do that frustrates him the most is I'm too careful pitching to batters that I have no business being careful with. Like I'm too, like the batters that are not the best batters in the lineup. He said he gets so frustrated.
Runner on at first with 1 gone. Now it's going to be Andres Jimenez. Swing and a
Well, maybe not that, but he said I don't attack him enough.
The pitch just missed. There's a strike.
Yeah.
Right-hander kick steals. Hacks and misses. It's a strikeout.
Well, you see him trying to pull that inside pitch right there, and that's not the kind of approach.
Well, like he said, when I'm pitching with a big lead like this, I'm still pitching like I'm only up 1, and I got to be willing to pitch to contact. And okay, so what? I gave up 1 home run, but then I'm pitching like I have a 1-run lead, and I end up walking 2 or 3 people, and then that 1 home run I gave up is a 3-run shot, and then all of a sudden I'm back in trouble.
Connect a little bit more than they do when they're at home with their families, and that can breed to success on the field, as we saw in this game today. Excellent win by this team.
And a 7-1 finish in this one as the Orioles win this one. Chris Singleton and our entire outstanding crew here at MLB The Show. I'm John Shambi. Thanks for joining us.
Tonight. First for the victorious Orioles, 7 runs, 5 hits, no errors. They left 2 runners on base.
Yep.
For Cleveland,
I don't know.
8 hits, no errors. They left 9 runners on base.
Could be.
Time of the ball game, 3 hours exactly. Thank you for joining us here this evening. We remind you to please drive home safely.
Me too. All right. So do me a favor in about, or if you don't mind, in about 10, 15 minutes, check out the title and description on this one. Let me know what you think. I ain't going to text you and remind you because I don't want to come across like somebody else. But all right. I will see everybody later. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. On the road to 1,000 subscribers. Can't get there without you. I'll be back probably sometime later tonight.